Actor Gina Carano was very publicly fired by Disney and Lucasfilm over her political opinions. She didn't bend the knee and stop fighting. She decided that she was going to fight back. And with the help of Elon Musk funding a lawsuit against Disney, that's exactly what she's doing in court in California. And while we're all waiting for a judge to rule whether this case can actually go forward or not, Gina Carano is exposing even more hypocrisy from Disney and showing the double standards and that they are doing exactly what she's been claiming for years. Take a look at this. Gina Carano eviscerates the Walt Disney Company as Mark Ruffalo compares America to Nazi Germany. Isn't it interesting that if you have the approved opinion in the case of maybe the woke mainstream media or all of these Hollywood elites, then it's okay to put out your political opinion, even if you're comparing half the country to Nazis. But if you have a different political opinion, maybe one that a lot of people in the rest of the country have, that is not okay, and you will immediately get fired and publicly shamed. Well, Gina Carano's not going to let this go. Former Mandalorian actress Gina Carano shredded the Disney company in response to posts from Mark Ruffalo comparing the United States of America to Nazi Germany. And this is the post in question from Mark Ruffalo. Of course, this all involves the Supreme Court ruling, the 6-3 ruling about presidential immunity, and clearly Mark Ruffalo not happening. He shares this post about the Enabling Act becoming law in Germany, giving the chief executive power to enforce his own laws without checks and balances. Of course, that is not at all what they ruled in the Supreme Court, but Mark Ruffalo is a dumb motherfucker, so who knows what he's actually reading. Just for the record, history is repeating itself. Comparing Republicans, comparing Trump, comparing half the country to fucking Nazis, by the way. Well, Gina Carano saw that and she wasn't going to let it go lightly. Double standards on full display. It's a constant and obvious elephant in the room in Hollywood. There is example after example, such as Mark Ruffalo's below, that prove this, whom, by the way, I believe should have the right to express himself without getting fired, although I cringe at most all of his political posts. He's an actor, but he's a human being passionately engaged in something that he feels strongly about. It must be a nice feeling to express yourself so freely. Not everyone in the country has that privilege without having everything that they love taken away from them. Do we wonder why he has that privilege and I did not? The answers are in my case. I know people would prefer basketball players to just dribble or actors just act, but when you're in a world where lives are being destroyed and lost all around you, how does any human being become forced to stay silent when death by injustice surrounds them? And when it does come to that, when it comes to actors or athletes speaking out on political things, I think for the most part, in terms of your official capacity, whether it's a post-game interview, whether it's on the court, or whether it's going around doing tours to promote, say, something like The Mandalorian, you really should keep all your political opinions to yourself. What you do on your own time, even though I may disagree with it, is probably your business. But when you allow one side of the political aisle to speak like that about half the country, that is a fucking problem. If you're going to let your people speak out, if you're going to let your actors and athletes speak out, then you have to have the same standard on the other side. And we have seen Disney Lucasfilm does not have that standard. Remember all the way back in 2020, Mandalorian and Wonder Woman actor Pedro Pascal compares Donald Trump voters to Nazis. That was this post right here on his Instagram. Losers in 1865, losers in 1945, losers in 2020. And if you remember there, I made a video about this. He responded to a tweet about my video about this. He was very aware that people thought it was insulting, but didn't matter. That's Pedro Pascal. Gina Carano shares a political opinion. She ends up getting fucking fired. Disney and Lucasfilm maliciously twisted the narrative of a meme I posted, which was encouraging neighbors not to demonize their neighbors or history could repeat itself. I called no one a Nazi. I didn't deny the Holocaust. I wasn't comparing Republicans to Jewish people. I never did this, yet I was smeared as an anti-Semite. This lie was fed to you by the corrupt media based off a statement from Disney Lucasfilm, who have since doubled down on their slander towards me. Their narrative took on a life of its own, while my own life and career were tossed aside. Now, there's a lot more to this post. I encourage everybody to go read it and support Gina Carano over there on X. But the fact remains, we see time after time after time, Disney employees sharing very divisive rhetoric like this. And it's not a problem because it's the approved side of the political aisle when you're in Hollywood, when you're in cahoots with the elites and the mainstream media. That's okay. Gina Carano does it, gets fired for her political opinion. It's bullshit. And even as this case is waiting for this ruling to see if it does go forward, if it does potentially go forward to discovery and all these things, we're finding even more examples of this double standard. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.